All right, we're going to go ahead and get started here. We've got about 37 minutes left on our meeting, so time's a wasting. I have some notes on some hands from today. We'll walk through those. If you want to talk about anything, unmute yourself for a moment and say something, or type it in the chat. Otherwise, I'll just kind of ramble about the notes that I have from today.
Louise is on.
Cool. Okay, so here we go.
I'm trying to get my pic. Hello?
Yeah, you're good. I'm just gonna mute everyone here.
How do I get my picture? I don't want my picture. I just want to
Right, let's.
It didn't show how to get the picture off. Oh, thank you.
Is it gone now?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
So
Branch.
let us start with
Picture off.
board 7. Okay. From today's game. Upload to table. I have a note to talk about negative doubles on this one. So, what is going to happen here? South is going to open one club, right, with a balanced 14 and 3-3 in the minors. You open a club. I imagine at most tables it's going to go a spade over call by West. It's a little on the cheesy side, but I always like the spade suit. It's got a pretty big tactical advantage of forcing your opponents to bid a level higher. So for the purposes of this talk, let's have West over call a spade. Okay, so I don't like the name negative double for this reason. It gets people thinking that it means you have a bad hand. And North doesn't have a bad hand here. North has a 13 count that certainly intends to force to game, I would imagine. Maybe if your partner doesn't have a heart fit and can't bid no trump, maybe you would stop, but I can't really see that happening. And we want to get the heart suit on the table in case there's a 4-4 heart fit, obviously. But we can't bid 2 hearts with a hand like this because that call says 2 things. It says, first of all, I've got 10 or more high card points. And second of all, I have 5 or more hearts. Okay, so when we double here, think of it as an invisible 1 heart response to the 1 club opening bid. It's basically saying the same thing. I have at least 4 hearts, and I have enough to respond. Okay, now, and when we talk about the 2 litmus tests for bidding 2 hearts, both 5 card suit and 10 points, the double could have one of those fulfilled, but just not the other. In fact, we're looking at an example here. You've got 10 points. You just don't have 5 hearts. Okay, or similarly, you might have a 6 or 7 card heart suit, but only 6 or 7 high cards, and you'd be overselling the hand high card point strength-wise by bidding 2 hearts. So the negative double is always going to talk about primarily the unbid major. It's in the family of takeout doubles, and what you're saying is I want to bid hearts, but there's at least one reason why I can't bid 2 hearts. Okay? Either the 5 part or the 10 part. So if it went a club, a spade, double, I guess maybe East can throw a cheesy 2 spade bid in here, maybe. I'm sort of okay with passing 2 with such flat shape and being vulnerable, but 2 spades are passed. I guess they're both in the ballpark. And at this point, I think South would bid 3 hearts just to confirm the heart fit, and North would raise to 4. Anyway, that's just a quick talk about negative doubles and the fact that you can have actually a very good hand. You better there. Okay, so that's board 7. Let's talk about board 8.
Question on this board, Lane.
Yeah, sure.
Is that a North hand eligible for sandwich no trump? Having the hearts and diamonds?
Oh, you would not use no trump as sandwich here. No trump would just be I have spade stopped and I have like 8 to 10 points. Sandwich no trump would only be like, say you're a passed hand and they bid two suits, and then you bid no trump in a spot where you can't have 15 to 18 balanced. That's when sandwich no trump would apply. Sandwich no trump is never going to be after your partner is opened and they've overcalled. That one no trump would just be 8 to 10 with a stopper in their suit. And also probably like doesn't have 4 hearts. Okay, because you're sort of giving up on the ability to find a 4-4 heart fit if you bid one no trump in a situation like this. All right, and there's going to be actually a little bit more that would add on to that conversation here on some of the future boards I've got written down. Board 8.
Oh, my internet is unstable, isn't it? Thank you.
Okay. Let's say that this auction goes pass, pass, one no trump with the 15 to 17 balance. Seems pretty obvious. And it goes pass. What's our plan with the West hand? I think my plan would just be transfer to spades and bid 3 no trump to give partner a choice of games. You could get super conservative and maybe just rebid 2 no trump, but you do have 10 high cards and a 5-card suit here. So I think that the game is to transfer to spades. Partner's going to bid 2 spades. And you're going to bid 3 no trump on the back end. If you want to be a super big weenie, I guess I'll accept 2 no trump, but 3 no trump's probably the right thing. So let's talk about East's decision here, because I see this from time to time, and I'm not sure the advice I'm going to give is universal, but I'll tell you how I think about East's decision here about whether to play 3 no trump or 4 spades. Pretty much, even when I'm 4-3-3, like this hand is, I tend to correct to the major because West can easily have a little bit of shape for her 3 no trump rebid. Like, look at this actual hand. What do you want West to do besides transfer to spades and then bid some number of no trump? And there's actually a little bit of shape to the hand, right? 5-4-3-1. So when it gets back to me as the no trump opener in this auction, it's basically as simple for me as if I have 3 spades, I'm going to play 4 spades. And if I have a doubleton, I'll pass 3 no trump. Because Responder hasn't really had a whole lot of room to talk about whether she has a flat hand or not. Okay, so I'm going to bid 4 spades even when I've got the flat, the 4-3-3 type shape. And again, like, one of the hazards for me of doing these types of talks is I'm not exactly sure when I'm just out on a limb somewhere and I have no idea what I'm talking about. Like, it's pretty easy to just feel like a constant imposter talking to you guys. But that's my recipe. It's just as simple as, if I have 3 trumps, I bid 4 spades. If I don't, I pass 3 no trump. The reasoning being, I don't know if Responder's got some shape or not, such that we might need to rough. And like, if you look at this actual hand, spades is going to play better, right? I mean, if they lead hearts, we only have the singleton heart stopper, right? We're going to prefer to play the 5-3 spade fit on this hand. Now let's see what the other tables did on this one. Yeah, there were 3 people in 3 no trump, 1 person in 4 spades. Anyway, that's 8. I have more on negative doubles for board 9. And again, if you think of anything, you want to type it in the chat, keeping an eye on that in case there would be something that you want to talk about. Board 9, upload to table. This one should go pass. 1 heart seems right. And I believe South is certainly going to overcall a spade. The suit's kind of crummy, but the vulnerability is right. You have the boss suit, and you have a pretty good hand. You have 12 high card points. So I think a spade is totally normal with the South hand. So now, what should West do? As West, I would be thinking, I want to bid something and nothing's quite perfect. And I'm short in their suit, so I know that when that's the case, normally I want to get involved. But I don't want to raise to 2 hearts because I've only got 2 of those. And I don't want to bid 2 clubs, even though that's my longest suit, because my suit's 10 high. And, you know, if I'm not willing to bid clubs, I'm certainly not willing to bid queen fourth of diamonds. And here I am. I'm stuck. So anytime you're feeling like that combination of feelings at the bridge table and the auction is low, probably double is right. Probably. And in essence, you are getting, you're getting to say all those things rather than committing to one particular action. So if we double here, it's negative. It's a little bit strange because both majors have already been mentioned, and we like to think of negative doubles in terms of speaking to the unbid major. Well, there isn't one here. Here it would just be, I've got the minors and I've got a little bit of hand, and I could probably stand to play 2 hearts, but I don't want to bid 2 hearts and have you think I have 3. So it's just like I got a little something of everything you could want to have over here. Give me a rebid based on that. Okay, so anyway, that would be that. And I imagine that North is going to jack up the auction in spades. Probably the idea is actually to Q bid because you have a good hand with 4-card support for partner. By the way, the difference in having 9 trumps, a 9-card trump fit, and an 8-card trump fit is enormous. Okay, so even if you feel like this hand it's only 8 points or whatever, it's got a singleton and it's got a 4th trump, which are both big upgrades. So, you know, maybe they did 2 hearts here. Maybe East chimes in with the club suit. Okay, because certainly you're buying clubs in the dummy. And I don't know what happens from here on out. But anyway, the point is use the double as the responder here, even if the minors are the suits that are left unbid. And more generally speaking, you don't have to memorize if this is a support double or a responsive double or a negative double or a takeout double or Rosencrantz or responsive or any of this other nonsense. Anytime you feel like you ought to be doing something and you're not sure which particular action is right, double is your friend. Okay? That's what double says. All right, let's go to board 13. All right, so this is going to circle back kind of to Henry's mentioning of the sandwich no trump. So let's talk about board 13 for a minute. I opened the north-handed diamond. It went pass. My partner bid a heart. Okay, so look at Wes's hand here. He's got 18 points. He's got a semi-balanced shape. Certainly one thing you can do with this hand is bid 1 no trump. And that's the same thing that it would be if only one of your opponents had bid and you overcalled 1 no trump. It's 15 to 18 balanced with a stopper in their suit. Or suits in this case, which he's got, King, Jack, diamonds, King of hearts. So most people play this 1 no trump bid as strong. 15 to 18, you'd love to have a source of tricks, right? You don't want to just be doing it on a 4-3-3 queenie jacky 15 count because that's a good way to get your head handed to you if you do that. But here, like we've got a source of tricks, what's called a source of tricks in clubs. So it's not just, you know, just this pile of random high card points. There are people who play that this 1 no trump bid is for takeout. It's unusual or sandwich. I think that's pretty much fallen out of vogue at the same time that people have started opening lighter and lighter and lighter and responding lighter and lighter and lighter. The more your opponents are out there on trash opening and out there on trash responding, the more there's a need for your bids to actually show values instead of takeout. So I believe that just about every world-class player plays this 1 no trump bid as 15 to 18, not sandwich. Now, for some reason, West were a passed hand. Like say it went pass a diamond, pass a heart. Henry, this is what you were talking about. At that point, West won no trump. If he were already a passed hand, that would be takeout or unusual sandwich, whatever you want to call it, right? But here, where he's not a passed hand, it's just the meat. Good hand, big hand. The other idea, I guess, here is West could overcall 2 clubs. I'm not sure which one would win in a bidding contest, but 1 no trump is certainly reasonable, and it lets us talk about it should be a good hand in this auction. And that was the end of our auction. Nobody else had anything to say. It turns out that the 2 club overcall probably would have worked out better, but oh well. Let's talk about 14. Oh, not that one. 14. All right, cool. This one went pass, 1 heart. And let's talk about West's choices and then North's choices. I am very stingy with my 2 of a minor overcalls. And there's a couple of reasons. First of all, it's at the 2 level. Second of all, I guess, like at the very top of the priority list of why we're overcalling is get to a game. And if the best description of our hand is, I have a minor suit, that it takes 11 tricks to get to a minor suit game. Okay, so when you overcall 2 clubs or 2 diamonds, I really want to have a good hand, a good suit. A 6th card in the suit goes a very long way. This is all a long way of saying this is not really all that close to my idea of a 2 diamond overcall. This just, yeah. I would have to beef up the suit, give myself a 6th diamond and a singleton somewhere. That being said, I do feel like I'm supposed to get involved with this hand. So my choice would be double. I realize the fact that I have Queen X of clubs isn't great, but partner's not going to go out of her way to bid clubs in response to a takeout double. And if she does, I have Queen Doubleton. That'll play in a pinch. So now let's talk about what North should do if faced with the auction a heart double. I think the idea is to redouble. So redouble should be, I have 10 or more points. I tend not to have a fit with you, and I tend to have a balanced hand. So think of like 4-4-3-2 with a doubleton and partner suit and 10 or more high card points. Now I realize this hand is actually 9 technically, but aces are undervalued. At like 4 doesn't do aces justice. And you have the Jack 10 of clubs, the 10 of diamonds. I think with my 1 chance to respond here, I'm going to sell the idea that I have a balanced, not fitting hand with 10 points. Okay, so redouble. And the idea here, once we've redoubled, is that any subsequent doubles by either side of the table are penalty. They show length in the suit that's bid. So in other words, like if the opponents start running to spades or clubs, North should be doubling that because they have length in the opponent's suit. There's not really a suit that South wants to double. Okay? If South bids again, it's probably going to be running to some other number of hearts, right? Because South's hand doesn't work all that well on defense. It's got a trick of defense in the spade suit and maybe one of the hearts caches, but South's offense to defense ratio is pretty high here, right? So, maybe even South might just be bidding hearts again to tell partner, I have no interest in defending this hand. And North-South will probably climb up to 4 hearts at some point, which has a diamond loser, a spade loser, and you need one or both club honors to be with West for this to be a maker. So you get the 4 hearts. Anyway, just some quick talk on what redouble should be. And you have to think a little bit outside the box to treat this as a 10 count, even though it's technically only 9. Compare this with, like, if you were to, instead of redoubling, what are some other choices? Like, you could bid 2 clubs, but there's a bunch of reasons I don't like that. First of all, you're underselling your defense. Second of all, you're potentially losing the spade suit. You've got 4 of those. I mean, maybe that's not a big deal since they probably have spades on my right and my spades are 9/4. But it's just like, rather than talking about a bunch of things, like I have a balanced hand, I have 10 points, I don't have a fit for you in hearts, you choose to make this hand all about clubs. That doesn't really make sense to me. So I'm going to redouble on this hand. Board 15. I don't think I have anything super interesting to say on this one, except that I was the only one in the field to bid Michaels with this, and I wondered if I was missing something. This did not end well for me, by the way. I wish I had just overcalled 2 hearts. But after it goes past a spade, I don't even think I considered anything other than bidding 2 spades with this hand. And, you know, when you get in this situation, and just to be clear, North is showing 5 hearts and 5 cards in one of the minors with this 2 spade bid. It's called Michaels. And, you know, South is just in this terrible spot here. You know that partner's got hearts and clubs looking at your hand, but you kind of just have to bite the bullet and, you know, bid 2 no trump, which asks partner what their minor is. Now there's some dreamers out there who fancy that they might catch a 3 diamond call, like not in this lifetime. It's just going to go 3 clubs and here you are in kind of a nasty little contract, but it's the least of evils at this point. All right. That is what I've got from the hands for today. There were a couple of hands from the RBC last night that had some interesting stuff. I guess I can go to those. There's one particular auction type that it's probably worth talking about here. It's something that I think a lot of people don't know about this bidding sequence, but it's one to tuck away because it's a pretty good little tool to have. See if I can find the hand. We played 5 spades on one of these puppies. Yeah, there it is. Right. And the one before it? Yes, perfect. Export to table. All right, so North's dealer has a huge hand here. If we think about it in terms of losers, it's 2 spades, 1 heart, and half a diamond. That's 3.5. And this is certainly a good hand to have the bidding plan of opening a diamond and reversing into hearts. This is what a reverse looks like. This is even beefier than a reverse needs to be. Like, you could change the king of diamonds to probably even like, you could change to the jack for sure. You could take away a 6 diamond and put the 2 diamonds in with the spades and it's still good enough to reverse. Anyway, it goes a diamond, pass, and you absolutely need to be bidding with the south hand. Please don't look at the south hand and say, I have 4 high card points and therefore I pass. Like, if you can find a heart fit with partner, this dummy will do just fine. So every red-blooded bridge player should be wanting to bid 1 heart with this. And one of the things, like with this much shape, I wouldn't even really think twice about bidding 1 heart. But one of the things you need to consider is, if you pass 1 diamond, particularly when you're vulnerable, and it goes pass on your left, like, this is not going to be good for you. or your partner's going to be playing a 4-1 or a 5-1 fit, and you will have missed a heart fit if you pass with this hand, and it's going to be 100 a trick. You're going down 200 or 300 if it goes one diamond pass, pass, pass. Okay, now if for some reason partner had opened a club, like I'm still bidding a heart, but I would have less reason to fear the auction one of a minor, check, 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 because now, you know, it's never going to happen. And what happened was West bid 1 spade. Now, let's think about what North can do. North has just a gigantic hand for this auction. Okay, they've still got the 6-4 shape that they started with. Their partner has now bid their ace-queen 4th suit, so that's great. And we also don't have any values wasted in the spade suit. So here's what I'm thinking as North. I need to tell partner I have a huge hand, a hand that's good enough for 4 hearts, for sure, and probably has some aspirations beyond that. Just as an exercise, by the way, just as an exercise in counting tricks, pretend you're sitting North and pretend your partner has king 4th of hearts and a singleton spade and a doubleton diamond. That's a 3 count. And we are already like, slam is pretty much on a 3-2 trump break, right? Because we could rough the diamonds good, we could pull trump, and if partner had a singleton spade, we could rough a spade as well. So that's a 3 count that makes slam a pretty decent proposition opposite this. If you can start getting into that habit of thinking about how the hand's going to play during the auction, it will improve your hand evaluation quite a bit. So, you know, just doing that sort of exercise here, you realize, gee, if partner has the king 4th of hearts, there's already some hands I can picture where we're getting a slam. You need to let partner know about that. Anyway, we can use a rebid of 4 of our minor to say, partner, I have 4 hearts with you. I have 6 of my minor, and I have enough playing strength that we should be safe at 4 hearts. And that's exactly what North has in this auction. So the 4 diamond bid, it's like an invisible raise to 4 hearts of the particular type. I have a source of tricks, like usually a 6-card suit in diamonds as well. All right, so that's kind of a neat little trick. I imagine what's going to happen next is East is going to bid 4 spades. And then we get into this gigantic discussion of whether we should bid 5 hearts or double 4 spades. It's a discussion probably that's above my pay grade, to be quite honest. Let me show you one neat thing about if we decide to end up defending 4 spades. So let's say it just goes pass, pass, double. I'm not necessarily suggesting this. I'm just saying let's look at the way the defense to 4 spades would go. All right, so if we look at the north-south hands, what tricks do we need? Well, first of all, how would we do in 5 hearts? Okay, so we're down to 10 minutes here. That's fine. No, I don't want to upgrade. How do we do in hearts? We would just lose the 2 spades. We're making 5 hearts, right? Ace, king of diamonds, rough the diamond good, pull the trump. You've got the ace of clubs, blah, blah, blah. They just get the first 2 spade tricks. And in fact, they need to cash them to get them. So if we're in hearts, we're going to be making 650. That means to recoup that equity that we were due if we played 4 or 5 hearts, we're getting 650. We actually need to beat 4 spades 800. Okay, so that is down 4, which means we're going to have to find 7 tricks. They're there, but we're going to have to be careful. And again, just let me stress to you that when you get into these situations where you're like defending 4 spades doubled on a hand like this, you can't start to get all excited and sloppy once you see that it's going down 1 and then 2 and then 3, because when you start getting into that territory, a better thought would be, oh, this probably means that 5 hearts is doing really well. And if 5 hearts is doing well, it's not going to matter if I get 100 or 300 or 500. I need to try and find a way to get 800. Okay, so just a reminder, anytime you start kind of feeling that like ecstasy flooding over you, like, oh, wow, I'm doing really well here, that's a good time to stop and think, maybe that's not true. Okay, so anyway, 4 spades doubled. Where are our 7 tricks coming from? I see ace of clubs, ace king of diamonds is book, ace of hearts gives us 4, and now we're going to need to be able to score a diamond ruff in the south hand for 5, and both of North's trumps for 6 and 7. That'll get us 800. Let's look at a way the defense could go. North could kick off with the ace of diamonds. That seems pretty standard. Ace king leads are at the very top of the priority chart. And let's say that North looks at the dummy and thinks, some of this you just get better at with practice and projecting what the hands look like. But a pretty reasonable idea to come to is, I need to try and get my club ruffs. So I'm going to lay down the ace of clubs right away. And let's talk about what South should communicate to his partner at this point. You've heard the auction where partner described 6 diamonds and 4 hearts and some moose of a hand. He led the ace of diamonds. That's pretty consistent with him holding ace king 6th. And now he's shifted to the ace of clubs. What's going on? Well, it's very, very, very likely that he is now, that ace of clubs is singleton, and he's now trying to figure out how to get ruffs. What is something we could tell our partner about where he can get to our hand? I would, like, if I were allowed to speak in English at this point, what I would want to tell my partner is, it is safe to underlead your ace of hearts because I have the king. If for some reason you don't have the ace of hearts, it's hard to imagine partner not having the ace of hearts. But if for some reason you don't have the ace of hearts, it's also safe to lead a heart because that would mean that Declare has the singleton ace and we're not blowing anything. Anyway, if you need ruffs, you need to find my entries. Here's where my entry is. I'm going to play the 10 of clubs as a needlessly high card. Like, we can't need any of these clubs anymore for winning tricks. What I want it to be is a suit preference card. Okay, so we'll play the 10 of clubs there. Let's say that partner continues cashing diamonds. We can give partner just a normal old attitude card here, kind of saying the same thing by pitching the 9 of hearts. Let's say partner continues with a diamond ruff, and he can use the size of his diamonds, like what he wants back as a club. We already highly suspect that, but he can confirm the message, and by playing the 2 for the lowest suit, we ruff that. We can continue our message by playing the 9 of clubs. Say, partner, it's okay to underlead your ace of hearts to get to my hand. And this is the critical juncture right here. If you lay down the ace of hearts, because, well, probably you just weren't paying attention to partner's cards because you were so excited that you're about to get 500, and that's not even going to be good enough because we were slated to get 650 if they left us alone. You need to have been watching partner's cards. At this point, realize that everything he's done on the deal indicates that he's got the king of hearts, including, like, he bid back when the auction was 1 diamond pass. He bid. Surely he's got like 1 card in his hand, right? But notice that, even if we go to our double dummy analyzer here, if you lay down the ace of hearts right now, it's got that nasty red 3 by it, which means you're only getting 500. But if you underlead the heart, you'll see that they've got the red 4s. Partner can go up with the king of hearts, cross his fingers. Partner, did you really trust me enough to underlead that ace of hearts to get to my hand. The 8 of hearts comes out of declare's hand. South does like the mental fist pump, leads the last club, and we get it 800. And that's a top board. 500 might not be so good if there's a bunch of people in 4 hearts, making 5 on this deal. Anyway, kind of a lot of cool stuff there. That's just with suit preference and realizing that on defense, like, make all your cards mean something. And more generally, make your cards speak to whatever problem it is that partner's trying to solve. Like defense is just a creative problem all the time. It's just trying to tell partner what he or she needs to know. And on a hand like this, a defense like this, we can tell that what partner needs to know is how to get to our hand so that we can give him the rough that he wants, right? One more thing, since Meta brought this into the chat. Back when this auction was, let's go back to the auction part and then we'll call it a day. Got 2.5 minutes left. So let's rewind to the point where it was a diamond, pass a heart, 1 spade. And let's say that North bids 4 diamonds, or maybe North doesn't know about this gadget and just bids 4 hearts. Any like strength showing bid that North makes. And I'm suggesting 4 diamonds. As soon as that bid hits the table, and again, I bring this up because Meta's in the chat saying they defended against 4 spades undoubled. As soon as that 4 diamond bid hits the table, it is not an option anymore that we defend 4 spades undoubled. Okay? Partner has said we can make a vulnerable game. Like logically, that's what she said if she bids 4 diamonds. She said we have 620 points of equity on this deal. If that's the case, you can't sit here and when the auction goes 4 spades, you can't sit here and all pass it out and be collecting 50 a trick. That doesn't make any sort of sense. Therefore, if we have an auction like this, South's pass isn't literally, I don't think we can beat 4 spades. It's more like, I know that you know that I know that this entire auction at this point is about whether we should double them or bid 5 of one of our suits. And I'm deferring that decision to you. I'm saying I can go either way. It's not literally, it's okay to pass this out. Because if it goes pass, and you're sitting North here, you cannot pass. That's the one legal call that you can't make. Bid 7 no trump before you pass. Don't bid 7 no trump. But you cannot pass in auctions like these and collect 50 per under trick when you already committed to thinking that you could make 4 hearts. It doesn't make any sense. Anyway, that's it for today. I hope we can do this again next week and hope you got some good stuff and have a good weekend. I will talk to you soon. Talk to everyone later. Bye.